حي على الفلاح.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. اللهم رب أسر ولا تؤسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين يا فتاح رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري. Alhamdulillah, all praise and all thanks, all gratitude is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We praise and we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again and again for affording us the opportunity to come in His house and to pray our salat in Jamaat, especially to pray our Jumma salat today, which is compulsory upon each and every Muslim, Baligh Muslims, to come to his house and to perform our salat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He tells us in Quran, how can you disbelieve in Allah when we are lifeless and He brought you to life? Then He will cause you to die. Then He will bring you to life. And then to Him is our return. Again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, and it is not possible for one to die except by permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, at a decreed time determined by Allah. And whoever desires the reward of this world, He will give him thereof. And whoever desires the reward of the hereafter, He will give him thereof. And we will reward the grateful. Again, Allah says, every soul shall taste death, and you will only be given your full compensation on the day of resurrection. So he who is drawn away from the fire and is admitted into paradise has attained his desire. And what is the life of this world except the enjoyment of delusion? So Alhamdulillah, my dear respected brothers and sisters, all of us, we woke up this morning and some of us, we took bath and we performed the wudu and we prayed our salat. And we come to His house. There will come a time, my dear respected brothers and sisters, then when we will not wake up from our beds. When someone else would take us out from our beds and they will give us a bath. And they will put on clean clothes for us. And that clothes would just be a piece of cotton wrapping us. And they would pray salat for us, which is our janazah salat. And then they will take us not to our home, but they will take us to our spot in the cemetery, the graveyard. My dear respected brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, that verily from Allah we came, and verily we will have to return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent prophets from time to time to remind the mankind of this life, that this life that we are living, it is a short and temporary life, and soon we are going to leave this life and we are going into the real life. And that real life will start with the thing we call maut, the thing that is called death. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us certainly that death is coming to us, that each and every one of us, we are going to leave this world one day. And none of us can leave this world except with the permission and the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sometimes a person will say that I am fed up with life. And this person, he thinks that he's going to commit suicide and he's going to take his life. And he is telling himself that I am taking my life. I'm going to take my life because I cannot make it again in this world. My dear respected brothers and sisters, we have to understand that this decree is only in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That a person might think that he's going to take his life, but if Allah doesn't want him to die, he could jump in front of a car, or he could take the worst type of poison. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not cause him to die except if it is His will. So we have to understand and put our yaqeen and our trust and our belief that everything comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That us coming into this world, we came with only the will and the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. None of us knows that we were going to be born in Barrackpore here, or we were going to be born in some other part of the world. None of us know where we were going to be born. And none of us knows where we are going to die. Where we are going to die. But certainly, my dear respected brothers and sisters, we are going to die. We are going to leave this world one day. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Anbiya and prophets from the beginning of time to remind the mankind of this thing called life and this thing called death. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is telling us in Quran that do not die except that we are in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us this? That the people who are obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will have the paradise to rejoice in. And the people who die without, obeying the orders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will have to face the fire of hell. And some of us will have to face the fire of hell for a long period of time. And some of us will stay in the fire of hell forever and ever. May Allah save us from this. Ameen. My dear respected brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has sent the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to tell us how to prepare for this thing called death. Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he told us more or less that who is a wise man? And the wise man, he said that the wise man is he who thinks about death regularly and he makes preparation for this death. He makes preparation for this death. You see, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he told us a very easy way to go into paradise, to prepare for this death by performing our 5 times salat. That this 5 times salat, it is going to save us from the tortures and the torments at the time of our death. On Wednesday, myself and 2 other brothers, Muhammad and Ismail, we went for a little gosh, and we went and we met one brother. And the first thing, after we give the brother salams and reply us, he is telling us that I'm listening to a lecture, and the Mufti is saying that the person who obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when the angel come to take his life, he will come in such a beautiful and a nice manner, and he will take his life so easy. So easy, it will be like if he is going to perform 2 rakat salat. And while he is praying the salat, his soul will be taken out. And the person who is in the disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this angel will come in such a horrible form. Uncle is telling us this, and we know Uncle. He is telling us this. He's an old man. He cannot come to the masjid. He's sitting in a wheelchair, but he is telling us, he is giving us the dawah. Instead of we giving him a message and we encouraging him, he is encouraging us. He gave the khutbah today, and the khutbah was to prepare for death. Be ready to be a person who is in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when that time comes and the angel comes to take our life, we will be ready, and we'll be ready to leave this world pleasing Allah, well pleased with Allah. And we hear, my dear respected brothers and sisters, that the person who is obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he is placed in this grave, that this grave, if he is obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the grave is going to say to him that you coming into me it is good for you. It is good for you. Now that you have come into me, come and you'll see how I will treat you and how I will entertain you. And this grave is going to open as far as the eye can see. The grave is going to open as far as the eye can see. And a window will open, and the breeze from paradise will blow into the grave, into the cover. And this person will sleep into this grave. He will sleep into this grave peaceful until the day of Qiyamah, until the day of judgment. And a bad person, when he is going to go into this grave, the grave is going to say to this person, you are coming into this grave, you're coming into me, it is bad for you. You were disobedient and you were disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, when you are placed in this grave, you will see how I will treat you. And then what will happen? This grave, my dear respected brothers and sisters, it is going to start closing. It is going to start closing. We hear this hadith again and again. The grave is going to close so much so that one side of the grave is going to interlock with the other. And just recently we was reading this hadith where Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling us that when we are praying or when we are sitting, we should try not to put our fingers one going into the other like this, because this is a sign of the punishment of the grave. We do not want this punishment. That grave, serpents is going to be let loose in this grave. So long we hear in the narration that 1 year's journey. And this serpent is going to be thrashing and biting this person until the day of Qiyamah. So when a person is placed in this grave, my dear respected, this grave is either going to be a place of the paradise or a pit of the fire of the fire. A person, just by the time of his death, when the angel come to take his life, this person will have a great idea. This person will have a great idea as to where his final destination is going to be. This is why Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he keep on reminding his companions and reminding the people about the time of death. Who is the wise man? The wise man who thinks about death and makes preparation for this death. Let us all be wise men and women, inshallah. My dear respected brothers and sisters, again, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling us that this person who thinks about his death and he makes preparation for this death on the day of Qiyamah, when he will stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is the day of judgment, where each and every one of us will be standing. And we'll be standing in this plain in the Arafat, in this Arafat of Qiyamah, the day of judgment. And on that day, my dear respected brothers and sisters, we hear in narration of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam that it's going to be a dreaded day. It is going to be such a terrifying day that people would be begging Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to just put us into the hellfire. So dread that day will be, that the sun will be just above our heads. And people will be frightened. So much fear and fright will be in the hearts of people that they will be biting their fingernails. And they will bite until they reach their elbows. And they will not realize this. People will be drowning in their own sweat and their own tears. People will be crying and worried about that day. On that day, my dear respected, there will also be people who will be sitting on petty stools made out of pearls and rubies and diamonds. And these people, they will be, not prophets, and they will not be from the martyrs. And they will be asked on that day, who are these people? Who are these people? And then it will be told to them, they are simple people. They are simple people from the ummah of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who obeyed the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who obeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and made effort to remind the people, who made effort to remind themselves and the people about this day to come. My dear respected brothers and sisters, each and every one of us, we want to go into the paradise. Each and every one of us want to go into the paradise. None of us want to go into the hellfire. Today, my dear respected brothers and sisters, every single day that goes by, it is taking us one day closer to our grave. It is taking us one day closer to the Qiyamah, to the day of judgment. Every single day. Are we remembering this? Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told us that that wise man is the man who remember of this death. And how could we remember this? Every day we are getting older. Our beards started to get gray. We can see this. This is a reminder for us. Our bodies start to get weak. When we were young, we used to run 10 laps around the ground. Now, we can't run 10 laps, but we can't even walk 5 laps around the ground. All of these as reminder for us. These are reminder for us, letting us know that we are coming closer to our grave. Death is coming to us. Are we making arrangement and preparation for the life, for the real life, the life after death? Because Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told us more or less that when death comes, that our real life start. Our real life start when death comes. How much of us is making this sincere preparation for that real life? Today we are living our lives, my dear respected brothers and sisters, how we want to live this life. We are enjoying the niceties of this world, and we are making preparation for tomorrow, and we are making preparation for the next day. And we have so much of preparations and things in our minds that what we are going to do tomorrow, and what I will do the next day, and what I'm going to do next year, and what I'm going to do 10 years from now, and what I'm going to do. And we are not studying about if tomorrow could be my last hour, or my last minute could be in a while from now. How much of us is thinking that I am going to leave this world soon? Because definitely Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that we are going to leave this world, but none of us knows when that time will be. Today, all of us, we are sitting in this masjid here, and we are worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There was brothers who were sitting with us here last week, and some months back, they are not with us here anymore. They are not here with us anymore. And sooner or later, my dear respected, all of us will have to leave this world. And the criteria for leaving this world, it is not sickness, it is not age. It is not age that I have a lot of time yet. I am young, so when I reach 50 and 60, then I'm going to start to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then I will make preparation for the death. My dear respected, children are being born in this world, and children are dying and leaving this world. Sometimes a child just spend 1-2 moments in this life, and then this child has to leave this world. The time was appointed for that child. None of us knows when our appointed time will be, my dear respected. This is why Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he continued reminding the companions, and the companions went on and remind the man that prepare for the life after death. Prepare for this last day to come. That to pray our salat as if it was this is my last salat, and I have no more other salat, so I'll be sincere in my salat. And today, my dear respected, if we know that this is the last $100 I have in my pocket, I will try to spend this to buy the most important thing. I will use it for the most important thing, because when it finishes, there will be no more. My dear respected, we have to treat our life like this. That this moment that I am sitting here, this is my last moment. So this salat that I am going to pray, I will pray the salat as if it is my last salat, and I will pray the salat with so much of sincerity and devotion towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that this dua that I'm going to make this dua as if it was my last dua, so that I'm going to make this dua with such a sincere dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept my dua, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will accept my salah. That I am going to give charity as if it was my last charity. So I'm going to give this, so I don't want nobody else to know. I'm going to give it only for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to understand, my dear respected brothers and sisters, that this life that I am living, it is a short temporary life. That I am going to leave this world in a short period of time. I don't know exactly when. So when I am talking to somebody, I give them a good advice. I try to spend this life that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me to the best of my capability, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would be pleased with me, so that when I leave this world and I stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that all of the action and the amals that I will do, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be pleased with these action and amal, and in return Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant each and every one of us the paradise, the Jannatul Firdaus that we all want to get. My dear respected brothers and sisters, all of us should make a niyat and an intention that from today, inshallah, I am going to spend my life in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I am going to try my best to start to perform my 5 times salat if I am not praying 5 times salat. Because my dear respected, I keep saying on and on all the time that salat is the key to paradise. And if our salat is not in order, then we have a little problem into going into paradise. So we have to make sure that our 5 times salat is in order. And this salat, it is also a medium where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will save us from the punishment of the grave on the day of Qiyamah. Hadith of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he is telling us that this salat, he will make our Qiyamah an easy one. That he will give us our book of deeds in our right hand. We will all cross the bridge of Sirat, the Pul Sirat, which is over the fire of hell with the speed of lightning. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is going to reckon us. He will enter us into paradise without any reckoning, just for this 5 times salat. So I'm going to make this niyat that inshallah from today onwards I am not going to miss a single salat. And not that I am not going to miss only, but I am going to make sure that my family members, my children, my wife, my husband, my mother, my father, everybody is in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That every one of us, we are obeying the orders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we are following these footsteps of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So I hope and pray that inshallah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant each and every one of us a good death. And we all make the dua, Allahumma hasibni hisaban yasira, that oh Allah, grant me an easy reckoning. We should make this dua in all of our salat. Every time we perform our salat, we should make this dua. Allahumma hasibni hisaban yasira, that oh Allah, make my reckoning an easy one. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant each and every one of us an easy reckoning, inshallah. May He make it possible whereby we can all be in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and following in the footsteps of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Wa akhirna da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, wa nastaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun, wassalamu ala al-mursalin, walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
حي على الفلاح